Hey, would you look at that? My camera came on first time again. We're 2 for 2 now. Yes, I have a second trailer that I want to talk to you guys about in as many days. This is another trailer from the New York Comic Con. I need to stop stumbling over my words. That would certainly help. And it's for something that I don't typically cover all that often on this channel. You guys know I'm a Star Trek fan. I have a couple of Star Trek reviews up. I was pretty golly gosh darn hard on the first couple of episodes of Discovery, and I didn't actually end up liking the first season of it at all, even though I watched the whole thing. My camera's picking up a little bit of noise pollution. I'm trying to fix that. Hopefully it didn't screw with the recording, because I'm not recording this a second time. Yeah, I didn't like Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery. I felt like it was using the names of things from Star Trek to sell us an entirely new science fiction series. It wasn't even particularly good in the first place, which is, interestingly enough, the exact opposite of what the Orville does. The Orville being, I think, the far superior show. It uses familiar themes and aesthetics from Star Trek to build a new world that feels fresh and inviting. Season 2 of Discovery was a little bit better. It felt more like it was trying to be Star Trek. I still have some problems with it. The way that they hand-wave away the entirely screwed up continuity that the series has created for itself over its first 2 seasons is just ludicrous. I'm sorry, it is. Like, it works if you squint hard enough, but if you think about it for even 2 seconds, it falls apart. So I'm choosing not to think about it. Though the 3rd season does look pretty good. They jump to the future at the end of Season 2. The far distant future, far enough into the future that they can do whatever they want with the story, and it doesn't affect any past shows at all. Which, frankly, is where Discovery should have, well, when Discovery should have taken place in the first place. So I'm glad they finally fixed that. Point is, that's the state of Star Trek right now. And I think it's very hit or miss at its best. However, there is a new Star Trek series coming. I think it's January 22nd. We'll see at the end of this video, for sure. Star Trek Picard, which directly continues in the continuity of Star Trek The Next Generation and Voyager, stars Patrick Stewart as Captain Picard. Again, though he has, for some reason, left Starfleet and he's on bad terms with them now, not just because of things that have happened in his past, but because of things that they're doing currently that he doesn't agree with. And it's all hinted to have something to do with the destruction of the Federation's rival planet, Romulus, which we know occurred at some point prior to the Picard series, because Spock told us he witnessed it happen prior to jumping from the Prime Star Trek continuity to the Abramsverse Star Trek continuity that we see in the new Star Trek movies. The implication is that something in terms of the rescue efforts were mishandled or something, or that Starfleet or the Federation as a whole did something that Picard didn't agree with in the wake of all of that, and that now something happens. A young woman appears, and that combined with something that Starfleet or the Federation as a whole is doing currently spurs Picard to become effectively a rogue captain, pushing back against what Starfleet and the Federation have become. And I have a little bit of stuff from the Discovery trailer, the Season 3 Discovery trailer, to talk about once we finished watching this trailer and I finished talking about it. Because it looks like they're going to use Discovery, which the future that Discovery is jumping to for Season 3 is even further beyond the future of Star Trek Picard. So it looks like they're going to use that to set up where the Picard series might be going. And it looks very fascinating. Now, fair warning, if you are a fan of Star Trek, this is probably going to make you cry. Just wanted to get that out of there. Also, yes, I have a watermark over the video. That's because CBS is a bunch of bitches. They don't like people using even their publicly available footage, and I'm trying to keep this video from getting claimed. Let's see what happens. This could be super fun. It's January 23rd. And it was at the beginning of the video, not the end. I'm already 0 for 2.
Would you like to finish it, Captain?
I don't know how.
That is not true, sir.
See, that's the most interesting part to me, honestly.
Oh, it's all right, number one.
Okay, that looks like a pit bull. I think that's supposed to be a pit bull, and if
I came here to
Captain
find
Picard is a
safety,
pit bull, that's adorable.
but one is never safe from the past.
Please, sir. Someone's after me.
That's so cool.
Your name, please, sir?
Picard, P-I-C.
I'm going to be talking about that hologram in a
It's
second.
nice to see you up and around again.
We have an obligation to investigate.
There is no we, Jean.
And also
I am
this.
standing up for the Federation, for what it should still represent.
This is no longer your house, Jean-Luc. Go home.
Patrick Stewart's so
I have
good.
to help her
You really want to go back out into the cold?
more than ever. I have a plan.
Another top secret, unauthorized rescue mission.
Bad cut there.
Everything that ever mattered to me.
I'm going with you.
I need your skill and your courage.
Borg ship.
It's written. But we are left to write the future.
Hold on.
There's his new ship. I don't like it, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, that's cool too.
She was sent for a reason.
I'll get the information we need.
I help people who have no one else to help them.
I like her. Alright, this is the part that might make you cry.
Hello, Will.
Jean-Luc.
He doesn't look like a crazy old man at all, does he?
We all have a story, just waiting to be claimed. Thank you for not trying to talk me out of all this.
Believe me, I know better.
Only on CBS All Access and on like a million different websites from which you can pirate shows from CBS All Access. Okay, that's the trailer. It looks really freaking good, just in general. Let's talk first about a couple of things that I particularly liked that set this apart from something like Star Trek Discovery. First of all, there's that. We don't know for sure if that's supposed to be the Enterprise D, but it is definitely an entirely unmolested Galaxy-class starship, the same class that the Enterprise D from Star Trek The Next Generation was, which is great because Discovery updated the look of the original Enterprise, and I'm fine with that. The original Enterprise is an iconic ship, I love it a lot, but it was also a very simplistic design that was never meant to be viewed in high definition. The remaster of the original series proves that definitively. So updating it a little bit is fine, but by the time Next Generation rolled around, the aesthetics of the rest of the franchise had been effectively established. There was no reason to update the Enterprise D, and they didn't, and I'm very excited about that. You have no idea. Like, I'm so excited, it has short-circuited my face. I cannot physically express how much happier this makes me than anything from Discovery ever did. Then there is also, if I can find it, that there is a Romulan bird of prey from the original series era, and while you can see like metal paneling and some Aztecing and stuff on it, stuff that wouldn't have been there in the original series because again it was a very low quality model, it's mostly unaltered. It's updated just enough to look good in high definition, so it looks like for the most part, unlike Discovery, I know some people are getting mad at me for saying this about Discovery, unlike Discovery, this is not going to be a visual reboot of the series. Discovery is, and you can complain or you can praise as much as you want for that, but that is what it is. And I think it's interesting that we're seeing a Romulan ship here, because if we go back all the way here, it looks like this is going to be the costume that Picard is wearing most of the time in the show. And if you look here, this little pin he's wearing is definitely made up of 2 stylized Romulan letters. They're stylized enough that there's some debate online regarding what letters they are exactly. And even if we knew exactly what letters they are, we wouldn't know exactly what it meant yet. But they are Romulan letters, so it looks like Picard is going to be allied with at least some Romulans in this, which is pretty interesting. Star Trek Nemesis, the last of the Star Trek The Next Generation era movies, did begin the process of establishing peace with Romulus, so it would make sense, especially if Picard was somehow involved in the rescue efforts after Romulus's destruction, that he would have Romulan allies. This scene is particularly interesting too. The second time we have seen Lieutenant Commander Data return, though this is also the second time we've seen him in an old-style Starfleet uniform, which means that this is not a Data that was resurrected after his death in Star Trek Nemesis. This is a dream Data. If we go by some of the Stage 2 continuity of the books, Data was resurrected using his brother B4 as a vessel. But it looks like they are discounting that as part of the continuity, even though it was true in the continuity of the Countdown comics, which led up to the stuff in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek reboot movie, which I thought was supposed to be canon to that movie. And if the events of that movie are canon to the Picard series, I would expect the Countdown comics to be canon to the Picard series as well, which means I would expect Data to be alive, but it looks like he's not. My head's spinning a little, metaphorically speaking. At least I have not yet learned how to spin my head around 360 degrees. I'm going to keep trying, though. Data's my favorite Star Trek character of all time. I want him to be alive. But if he's this sort of like Vision Quest spirit animal type thing for Picard, I guess that's fine. Picard may or may not have a mental disorder associated with his age that causes him to forget things, based on some stuff from Next Generation. If he does, it's possible that Data is his mind trying to cause him to remember things that he's forgotten. Things which might be the entire reason why he becomes involved in these events. Because if we look here, Data is painting something and he wants Picard to finish it for him and says that Picard knows how to finish it. And Picard doesn't think he does. This painting could be representative of Picard rediscovering that information that he's forgotten. This is the young woman who comes to get help from him. There's a rumor going around, I don't know where it came from, I can't pin down where it came from. But there's a rumor going around that she's somehow associated with the Borg. Because it looks like the Borg are actually going to be one of the groups that Picard is helping in this series, as weird as it sounds. Then Picard has an angry shouty match with... can I get her face? There we go. Admiral Old Lady here. Because the Federation is doing something that he doesn't agree with, and I think, if I can find it, that might come back to this. These are Soong-type androids, the same type of androids that Data is. Way back in... It's a storm brewing outside my room. Hopefully you can't hear that, because that's going to screw up the audio. I'm trying to keep my curtains between my microphone and the window, because I still don't want to shut my window. Let me adjust this for a second. That should be better. One of the all-time classic Star Trek episodes was The Measure of a Man, in which Picard fought for Data's right as a sapient android to choose. And that was supposed to be the foundation upon which was built a case for sapient, or at least we can assume it's sapient, if it's advanced enough that we can assume it's sapient, artificially intelligent life being granted full rights. And it looks like here maybe the Federation has backslid on that a little bit, and they've finally managed to crack how to build Soong-type androids like Data, and have been constructing them en masse to use as slave labor, and that Picard is pissed off about that, rightfully so, and that's one of the driving forces of this series. We also see, though, where is it? This. No, not that. This. Slider is very inaccurate. This looks to be a partially destroyed Borg cube ship. The Borg were Picard's nemesis, which is why it's supremely unfair that they were in the end defeated by God Empress Janeway. I say that like I don't like Janeway. I actually love Janeway as a character from Voyager. But it looks like between this damaged cube and some of the visuals we see of like dissected Borg here, and the inclusion of, can I find her? Where is she? 7 of 9, played by Jeri Ryan, one of my all-time favorite Star Trek characters, the breakout character of Star Trek Voyager. Between her presence, the dissected Borg, and some of the stuff she says in this trailer, it seems like once the Borg were crushed by God Empress Janeway, the Borg drones that were subsequently freed from the collective are also being in some way persecuted or exploited by modern Starfleet and the modern Federation, and that Picard's actually going to have to help the Borg too, which I know is going to dredge up some angst. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we see swords. There's sword fighting in this. Can I find the exact scene I'm looking for? I mean, there's a guy with a sword. Romulan with a sword. There it is. It's not exactly the frame I wanted, but you can see Picard here in a fencing stance, sword fighting against this other guy, which is a very great nod to continuity because Picard is a fencer. So that's exciting. Let's go back here and we'll talk about Riker and Deanna in a minute. I'm glad that Picard's going to get to do some action-y stuff. He probably shouldn't do a lot of it, though, because he's very old at this point. But it's fun. Hopefully they handle it better than all the other times Picard's tried to do action in like the movies and stuff. And in the show. And just generally in small doses here and there. Patrick Stewart's not actually good at action. Why am I excited about this? Whatever, it's fine. Based on some of the other stuff we see in the trailer, it looks like there's 2 different Romulan factions. Maybe even someone in Picard's own in-group whose desires don't quite line up with Picard's. Maybe they're trying to do something a little more underhanded, take advantage of the situation for their own gain. We don't know yet, but it's a possibility. But this scene here with Will Riker and Deanna Troi, let's just play it again for a minute.
Hello, Will.
And the voice that calls out to Riker there at the start, which sounds like, I mean, it doesn't just sound like, it's definitely his and Deanna's kid. This shows us there's going to be at least some follow-up with some of the Next Generation characters. We know that Michael Dorn hasn't been asked to come back and play Worf, even though he jumps at every chance he can to get to play Worf. But that doesn't mean he won't come back eventually. I just hope that they don't do his makeup up like one of those ugly, stinking Discovery Klingons. Even the Season 2 ones were much better than the Season 1 ones. But we are going to get some follow-up with that. That's good. That's welcome. I'm very excited about that as well. This whole thing has me pretty excited. Like, I'm still cautiously optimistic about it. But I'm very excited about all this. This looks like it's going to be just a generally good show. Though, can I find a frame of it? Here we go. This is kind of the best look we get of it. We don't really see it from the front at all in this entire trailer. We see it fighting that Romulan ship a little bit, or at least it looks like this same ship fighting that Romulan ship a little bit. But this looks to be Picard's new ship from the butt end. And maybe it looks better from the front. But there is nothing memorable about this ship to me at all. I don't know, maybe its actions will make it memorable. The rain's really coming down now. But I was really hoping for something more distinctive, more Star Trek-y looking. It looks like it might be a Romulan ship, though, which is kind of interesting. Where's the shot of its bridge, though? This just looks so freaking ugly. I don't know. Again, I want to get better look at it in action. But this just looks so bad. So maybe older ship designs will be the highlight of this series, but newer ship designs will just be awful. It's almost a trade-off I can live with, but Star Trek has always had such distinct and memorable ship designs. What the heck is going on out there? Star Trek has always had such unique and memorable ship designs. I really want this series to as well, but if it doesn't, it's fine, whatever. Somebody dying? Somebody might be dying out there, I don't freaking know. It's like 6 ambulances going by a little ways down the street. Just wait for those to pass. Point is, all things considered, this does look like it's going to be a good show. And I definitely hope that isn't just the trailer being deceptive. I really hope this is good. Because this more so than Discovery, this so much more so than Discovery, will decide the future of Star Trek. If this show is good, then there is still hope that Star Trek can be good in the future. That the continuity of Star Trek can continue on and be good. And I think, if I'm interpreting the Discovery Season 3 trailer correctly, that Discovery is trying to insert itself into that future of Star Trek, that unbroken, continuing future of Star Trek. Assuming that it is going to work out well, because it looks like Discovery Season 3 is going to tell the tale of the Federation having collapsed. Or at least a division having occurred, which has greatly destabilized and weakened it. And the events of this Picard series could lead directly into that if there are different factions at work and if the Federation is doing stuff that at least some of its member planets and citizenry might disagree with. It is possible that we're leading up to a legit Federation civil war, and that Discovery Season 3 is going to pick up the pieces after all of that has occurred and fix things. And man, it should not be those people who get to fix this. But whatever, it could be good. We don't know. I'm gonna reserve judgment until we actually see what happens. But as per usual, I'd like to know, what do you guys think of the new Star Trek Picard trailer? What do you think of the Discovery Season 3 trailer? If you have seen them. If you would like me to break down the Discovery Season 3 trailer, please don't tell me, because I'm not going to do it because I don't care enough. But let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over my Discord link in the description. But either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.